on, YouTube folks out there, Facebook friends, people of Black Junction TV? My name is Odimir, and this is the Hard Black Truth. And boy, oh boy. Well, who you have there on the left of your screen is a man known by the name of Shane Dawson. And the person we have on the right is none other than Willow Smith. Now, we are not talking about older 19-year-old, I want to say now, Willow Smith, not the one who's on the Red Table Talks with her mother. Nor are we talking about old man Shane Dawson, which I want to say right now he is 31 years old. I want to say that this is a more recent photo of him. No, we are not talking about them in their current state. Now, I just happened to check out what was trending on Twitter, and there were a few things. Donald Trump is a traitor, and they'll probably make some hay about that. And then I noticed, what the heck, who's this guy? Who are they talking about? Shane Dawson. And I start looking into it, and then I see him talking about Willow Smith, and I'm just like, oh gosh, well, what happened? We live in a climate right now where, somebody named Shane Dawson doing something to someone who we know is black, probably can't be too good, right? Probably can't be too good. And then I came across this. Now, I will not be posting the video. I may have links in the description for you. I may have some links in the description. But what I saw was rather disturbing. It wasn't funny. There wasn't anything comedic about it whatsoever. And for those of you who can't quite make out, you even have the little toy statuette at the bottom. Looks like they're in shock. This dude is pretending to masturbate to a photo of then 11-year-old Willow Smith. And he's sitting there joking about whipping your hair back and forth. Just another still shot for you here, making that goofy, I guess would be masturbation face. This is ridiculous, ladies and gentlemen. And clearly he thought it was funny. Now, I don't know where he was. If you told me this took place out there in Hollywood, I wouldn't be shocked. I really wouldn't. Now, it should be pointed out, and this really has nothing to do with anything, but, Willow she's on a post of a Radio Disney, whatever she was doing with Radio Disney. When it comes to Disney and celebrities and children, be careful, because there are no promising reports or things that I've heard when it comes to Disney and children. And this, while Disney may have been completely separate and set apart from what this yahoo decided to do, it seems to be an ongoing theme when it comes to Disney and celebrity children. Like, I can't think of a celebrity child who worked with Disney or much of Hollywood in general where, you could point to them today and say, wow, that's a shining example of humanity right there. And this isn't to throw shots. I'm just saying. I'm just saying. And, if you want to take a child to go watch a Disney movie, you really have to be careful, because they'll turn around and whip a penis out of nowhere. Or just do some more sexual innuendo. And you just being like, what the hell just happened? So, anyway, that's neither here nor there. Now, I wanted to kind of figure out how long ago this took place, because, again, her photo is she's clearly 11 years old, right? And he clearly looks young. But I want to make sure that no one could come along, or he can't come along and say, hey, back in the day, or, I'm thinking about current Willow. I don't want to hear none of that. And it was interesting that someone posted, I didn't look it up. I didn't bother to look it up. I saw it in an article. Again, I probably should have links posted in the description for you, where it said he released a statement shortly before this was leaked. So he must have known something was getting ready to go down, because he released a statement talking about, oh yeah, in the past, what they normally like to say, in the past I did some bad things. It really doesn't make me a bad person, and I've grown, and please forgive me if you see some messed up crap that shows up online about me. it wasn't me. It's not who I am today, right? It's the crap they like to say. So, again, I don't know where this took place, but I did notice the photo there to the left. And in researching this a little bit, it looks like this image, they use it as a stock image to advertise different things. And oftentimes I end up coming across Russian websites or websites that are just old, or web pages or whatever that are just old and outdated and not being used. This image, I can tell you, at least maybe not the tree above them, but the three rock stars in the band with the crowd underneath them, I was able to trace that as far back as 2013. So clearly, this was something that happened years ago when she was still a minor and he was still an adult. And this speaks to a greater context when it comes to dominant white society and our black women. Okay, because especially when it comes to certain white males out there, I don't want to broad brush all of you, but I will say I keep a side eye out until proven otherwise. So I'm looking at all of you until proven otherwise, straight up. But it just shows, man, these folks are a little too comfortable with sexualizing our young women, our young black women. And we live in a day and time where, folks are trying to distract, right? We're still dealing with the uprisings as new videos are being released back to back every day because some race soldier decided that they were going to deputize themselves, or some wacko cop decided that, his badge protected him and allowed him to do whatever. And now folks are out there burning crap down. We just had an interview with one of the Black Lives Matters leaders in one of the up north states, and they basically just said, yo, if you not going to do what you supposed to do, then we going to burn down this system. And I commend him. I don't agree with the Black Lives Matter organization, but I could dig what he was saying in that instance. For that scenario, I most certainly dig it. It makes no sense that any grown man, and mind you, this cat, I mean, when he did it, he was already old enough to drink. You understand what I'm saying? He old enough to go to war, old enough to buy cigarettes, old enough to drive, old enough to drink, old enough to buy a home, all of that stuff. I don't know who he is. I don't know where he came from. I believe he's some sort of online internet celebrity. And that doesn't give you an excuse to do what you did. That wasn't funny. That's not comedy. And I even looked up and saw some other disgusting crap where he sits there and talks about excusing pedophilia. Like he can't figure out how it is that someone would get arrested for masturbating to baby videos. What kind of sick thought is that to put out in the air? That is sick and depraved. Right? He even went on to talk about how he met some little girl who had, I want to say, an Instagram page or something like that, and she was talking about her followers, and he looked at her page, and he said that this little girl, this little cheerleader girl, looked sexy. And the co-host was like, this little girl, obviously uncomfortable. This isn't funny. And the fact that this cat was able to probably go from coast to coast and all around the world, doing and saying the crap that he's been doing, I mean, there's no telling how many people may have been affected by this cat. No telling how many people may have been affected. And what's sad is, you did this to a young sister. Now, say what you want about Will Smith, Jada Pinkett Smith, Willow, and her brother. I mean, you say what you want about the whole damn family. I mean, we could talk about stuff like that for days. But this ain't on them at all. But I will say this. I find it rather telling, and I don't know. You guys let me know how you feel about this. But we've had comments from Jaden. He's come out and said his piece, right? And I agree with him. And you've had Jada to say something. Where's Will Smith? Where's the father? And this is one of the problems that I have with Hollywood and black celebrities out there in Hollywood. It just seems as though, I don't know, that they are just on some other stuff. I know as a grown-ass man, you're not going to do that. And even if it wasn't your intention to air that video, the moment it comes out, like, yo, I got to respond. I got to respond because that's what you did. And, I'm even more concerned if you were ever around my child. You understand what I'm saying? So, Jada's came out saying something. The young man, her brother, Jaden, he came out and said something. I haven't heard anything from Willow or Will. And I just realized that. You got Willow, Will, Jada. Okay, anyway, that's what I'm waiting for. But, I'm not going to hold my breath. I'm really not. I just thought that this whole thing was interesting, and in a time where we're dealing with the deflection, right? We are in the middle of a Pride month, and we are still dealing with the uprisings, and black folks are still angry. And like I've said already, they keep releasing these videos. It's like they keep throwing fuel to the fires, like somebody wants to see a revolution, but then you got other folks coming along trying to deflect. And as I stated earlier, the fact that Mr. Dawson knew, at least it seemed that he knew that some stuff was going to come down the pipeline, I find it telling. Clearly you have a dynamic of older white male and a young, almost prepubescent black female. And he's out here masturbating to her, right? Sexualizing her, right? In a way that no man should. I also think it's interesting, who this actually happened to. And I can't expect the Smith family to all of a sudden be black first. I don't expect them to point this out. I do expect them to do what they have been doing, and maybe this opens up another conversation on things such as pedophilia. But I kind of wonder where that conversation goes, because right now, what's been put out there for our consumption is something that if you take a little bit of time to study, it's not really surprising. The fact is that it takes place often enough, and there aren't enough people to say anything about it. But again, I wonder where they're going to take this conversation, if they're going to try to steer this into an all lives matter. And granted, if they use this to prop up a campaign against pedophilia, I'm down for that all day long. I just question who we will have at the helm trying to lead that conversation. So these are all things that I see in my peripheral, and I wonder about, and I examine, and I wanted to share with you. You guys let me know what you think. My name is Odimir. Holla at me. Peace. Oh yeah, because I would be wrong if I didn't say it. Don't let this be an excuse to try to deflect from reparations, because we still want our reparations.